Hey screen printers, it's Ryan here in the Screen Print Experience Darkroom, and today I'm going to show you the updated version of our 16x20 exposure unit. Now, screen exposure is probably the most important part in the screen printing process. You got to have a good image and a good film. That makes a good screen. But what makes a screen is a good exposure unit. And there's two things that make a good exposure unit. One is proper type of UV light. You can't just have any light to expose a screen. It's UV and a specific nanometer of UV rays that properly exposes that emulsion. And second is positive contact. Here we have our DIY CFL UV exposure bulb. Now this bulb was specifically designed with the proper nanometers to expose a screen. However, using it DIY style, we simply hold it about 15 inches or so above a screen. But what's really important in screen print exposure is really good positive pressure. And what that means is that film has to be pressed with about 40 pounds of pressure against the mesh. So if you don't have positive pressure, light will easily work its way around the edge of the film, as you can see here, and you lose all the fine detail in your image. So with our new 16x20 unit, we've incorporated two, which is twice the power of these UV bulbs, and that actually lowers the cost comparative to the standard fluorescent tube UV bulbs. And this open face unit also comes with a sheet of foam, which you can put about 40 pounds of pressure on top of, creating that positive contact or positive pressure in order to capture the halftones and the detail in screen exposure. To properly expose the screen, first we put our film positive in the correct order centered on our frame. Now this exposure unit has a 16x20 exposure area. So it's good for these 20x24 frames, but it doesn't go all the way to the edge of the frame. We do have larger exposure units available, but this is a great entry-level unit that allows you to do a good screen for a very economical price. You just can't do quite as big of an image area. Then you take your sheet of foam and you put it over the image area, and then you take your 40 pounds of pressure or so we're just going to be using a 5-gallon of chemical and put it on top of that. What this is doing is sandwiching the mesh, the image, and the glass together, creating that positive pressure. Next, you have a simple on-off button here. For this emulsion, which is our WBP emulsion, we're going to be exposing this 230 mesh screen using halftones for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. After 6 minutes, 30 seconds are done, we're going to turn it off. So right there, our timer went off. And we're going to go wash this screen out. So we actually did this screen exposure twice. We did one with the unit using the positive pressure. We also did one at 11 minutes using the single bulb, and we'll see how the two compare. Both screens actually washed out great, but we did have better halftone retention on the screen using the positive pressure. So right here we got all the way down to 10% of our halftone dots. These are 40-line halftone dots. So we did bump the LPI down a little bit. And we got 10% of those halftone dots right there to expose. We caught most of those. On the same exact screen, but with the single bulb, not using the positive pressure, you see that we lost both 10% and 20%, a lot of the 20% halftone dots, capturing about the 30% halftone dots right there. So we got a lot better exposure when we had the positive pressure. Our open-face 16x20 UV exposure unit is an economical way to make better screens. Check out this and all the other exposure units that we manufacture here at Ryonet available on our website. Thanks a lot for watching, screen printers. Hope you have a great day screen printing, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome screen printing videos.